Okay, today is June 3rd, and I wanted to document and share with you guys this dream that I had. It was around like 4:30 in the morning. I just woke up in fear from this dream, and it took me a while to get back to sleep. So in the dream, I was in a very large building, and usually when I dream of being in a very large building, it's kind of just symbolizing the world in general. So I was in this large building. I was training to do a job, and it was one of those jobs where I was behind a desk kind of in customer service, and people would bring their papers up to the desk, kind of like maybe an airport type scenario or the DMV or something like that. So I'm behind the desk being trained, and a man walks up to the desk and brings me it's like a stack of papers for, I don't know what the process was that was going on. And as I'm in the middle of, checking him in or whatever, and I take his papers, it's like everyone's like, hold up, the system has suddenly changed. There's new rules. There's a whole new different system as I'm in the middle of training. And whatever that was, I don't remember specifically what it was or how it happened or any of the details, but I was not on board with it. I did not want to do it. It just felt wrong. It felt evil. And I knew during the entirety of this dream that everything that was going on was the very first beginnings of the implementation of the actual Mark of the Beast system. The Lord was just allowing me to be there in the dream just to experience it and see how it worked. Not to say that, we're going to be here for that or whatever. Sometimes God just, how can you warn somebody about something if you don't really know what it looks like or whatever? So I feel like the Lord allowed me to kind of be there during these times. So I'm not wanting to comply with this new system. So I just stop my training right there, and I'm just trying to leave and get out of this building. And as I'm trying to find my way out, I'm walking down this hallway, and there's all these different rooms off to the side. Kind of reminded me a lot of my high school. It was one of those schools where everything looks the same and you get lost easy, and there's just all the rooms look the same. So all the rooms off to the side were they had people segregated off from each other, and the rooms over here were full of people that were in compliance with the new system. And there were some rooms over here of people that weren't in compliance. However, not everybody was in those rooms. There was also some people who were trying to, just like me, just trying to escape, trying to get out of there. And I was sad because I looked into one of the rooms of people who were in compliance, and I saw my cousin, who in real life, she was born and raised in a Christian family. Her dad was a preacher. They believed biblical scripture, a biblical Jesus. As far as I know, they still do, and they were very strict with her. She was an only child. She was very sheltered from the world. Sorry for the dog barking in the background. She was very sheltered from the world. Her parents kept a close eye on her, and as far as I knew, they always taught her, the Bible and stuff like that. So it all seemed to kind of change for her when she went out into the world and went to college, liberal college, and she was surrounded by worldly ideas, and all of her friends really seemed to be this hippie, new age type of person. So I believe that that's kind of where she started to go wrong. And, she will tell you, yes, I'm saved. I believe in Jesus and the Bible and everything like that. But, I believe that Jesus loves and accepts you and what you do no matter what. And she just kind of is really brainwashed into that whole hippie Jesus idea that a lot of the youth have, where he will accept homosexuality and doing drugs and whatever it is that you do, he still loves you. And, you try to explain to them, yeah, he still loves you, but, you know, Jesus loving you and Jesus accepting what you do is two completely different things. Like, I have to explain, like, to my brother or whatever that, you know, my brother is, you know, he lives a homosexual lifestyle, and I have to explain to him, you know, Jesus still loves you, but it's one thing to be gay and it's another thing to act on it. So he'll still love you, but you have to surrender that to him, and, you know, give that to him and seek him through it, and, like, dedicate your life to it and be diligent about it and repent of it. But she just subscribes to that whole hippie Jesus idea that he will accept all of that no matter what. And anybody that says otherwise is just old-fashioned, and you need to get with the times, and Jesus is an all-inclusive Jesus who is cool with kicking back and smoking weed and, you know, love is love type of thing. So frustrating, because the Bible says that God does not change with the times. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He doesn't say, oh, you know, since, you know, the world is just more accepting of sin, I guess I better, you know, get with the times. Okay, sure, I'm cool with it. That is not Jesus. God is holy, and he is, you know, someone to be fearful of. If you're not, you know, where you should be, if you're not right with him, you should be afraid of him. But the world paints this idea of Jesus as, like, you know, like everything I just described, and that's kind of how she believes now. So it did not surprise me to see her in that room of compliant people. So that was really sad. But so I'm, like, walking through the hall trying to just escape this building, and at some point I find myself, like, up in the roof rafters, like, looking down, and I can see these women coming up that are, like, part of the system. They were evil, they were mean. They really reminded me of, if you've ever seen Matilda, they reminded me of Miss Trunchbull, just kind of, like, nasty and gross and evil and mean and just disgusting. And so they were, like, coming up into the rafters as well. And I remember, like, below them was fire, like, behind them. And as they were, like, coming up towards me, they were just, like, mocking me and evil laughter and stuff like that. And I remember there were these big books, like, really, really thick books up there. I don't know if they were Bibles. I don't know if there was something else, because at some point I picked up one of those big books and I threw it down at them, like, trying to, I guess, like, knock them into the fire with the book. And when I say that, it reminded me of that saying that says, you know, I threw the whole book at them. So I'm not really sure what was going on in that scene. And then after that, I was, like, back running down this hall again, and at the end of the hall was this window that was open, but yet it was locked, but it had just, like, the screen on the outside. And you know that scene in The Wizard of Oz where the lion just, like, thrust his whole body through the window and just jumps out of the building? That's what I did. I, like, threw my body against the window screen and just ripped right through it. Again, I apologize for the dog barking. She has, like, major separation anxiety, and she just can't deal if I'm 2 inches away from her. So anyway, I threw myself out that window, and I remember as, like, on my way out, I grabbed I have this, like a, not a purse, but it's like a little zipper bag that I carry around, like, my keys and my money and stuff in. It has, like, it's one of those things that has, like, a wristlet that you carry it with. So I grabbed that and my cell phone and my stomach pills that I need. I grabbed those 3 things, my little purse thing, my cell phone, and my medicine. And then I left, and I, like, right outside the window, everything was, like, pure wilderness, like trees and wooded areas everywhere all around for miles and miles. So I was basically like thrust into the wilderness, and I knew I was going to have to survive out there. So like I said, the Lord put me in the middle of basically, you know, the tribulation period, just to kind of get a feel for what was going on. And I know a lot of people say, you know, oh, we're still going to be here. We're going to, Jesus is going to leave us behind for the tribulation to go through all of that stuff. Nope. That's all lies. I don't care what you say. That's a lie. But in the dream, he allowed me to just see this, and I was in the wilderness. I knew I was just going to, I didn't even really have a plan. It was just like survival mode, I guess. So I'm like wandering around in the wilderness. And at some point, the scene of the dream kind of changes at some point, and I come upon my niece, who is 14 and a half now, I believe. And she was like riding her bike around the neighborhood, and she's like really like sullen and depressed and down about something. And I ask her what's wrong, and she's talking to me about how, you know, things are different, and I might not get to go off to college and live out my dreams and start a family and do things with my friends. Everything's just not the same anymore. And although I'm trying to be, you know, compassionate with her, I'm explaining to her, like, those are the least of your problems right now. Like, you're just gonna have to forget all those type of things, because, you know, the way it was if you didn't comply to the system, which I'm assuming that she didn't, because her family doesn't seem to, you know, they're Christians as far as I know and everything, and they hate everything that's going on in the world right now, and, you know, they're conservatives and everything. So I was just assuming in the dream that she was kind of in the same boat as me, like, you know, you don't get to participate in those things anymore. Forget college, forget, you know, getting married and going on trips with your friends and all that kind of normal stuff. And she was just very down about it, and I was explaining to her that, you know, just those are things of yesterday. Those are the least of your problems now. But I was trying to, like I said, be compassionate with her, because, you know, I really feel for the youth of today, because I can see a pattern that, like, the past 20-ish years, I can see how Satan has really groomed and conditioned people over the past 20 plus years, because I feel like he knew that was going to be, you know, the children or grandchildren of that generation were going to be his target youth, to be the ones, you know, the Obama youth, the ones who love Obama, and the ones who push this whole, you know, get with the times thing, where the government's there to help me, and conspiracy theorists and Christians are nutcases and things like that. Satan knew that the generation of today's youth, were his target people, I believe. And so, you know, their parents, you know, my generation, or a little bit older than me, Satan really had to work on them to slowly over time condition them, brainwash them, desensitize them, and really cause them to unlearn things that grandma told them about the Bible and Jesus and the rapture and the mark of the beast. That generation is, you know, they are most likely to believe that, you know, all that stuff grandma said is just old-fashioned bigot talk, and none of it's true, and, you know, Jesus has changed over time and is more accepting of our ways now. And so there's been that slow conditioning over the past 20 years of these generations, you know, kids' parents and their parents, to get them to where he needs them to be the way that they are today, unfortunately. So, you know, my niece is 14, and I feel like she's in that age group that's really hard to, you know, she may have heard grandma mention the mark of the beast and things about Jesus and the rapture at some point when she was little, but, you know, grandma has died off now, and, you know, mom was, you know, in rebellion as well, and she never really raised me in church or to believe any of that stuff, and they're just more, like I said, desensitized, and they have unlearned the truth. And schools and liberal colleges, education now is, you know, they teach you what they want you to be taught. what they want you to know and what they want you to follow along with. And they brainwash the youth into believing, like the way the world is now with what's going on with the V word, they have been conditioned to believe that when they get the V word, you're doing something noble and you're doing what's right. And they say, do your part. And they make them think, you know, they're such an upstanding person because I've done my part like the government told me and all this stuff, to where they just blindly walk into this stuff because they really don't know better or they don't believe better or whatever. And it's really hard to, they must be so confused about what's going on, but yet at the same time, it's their normal. They don't really know otherwise, or they have forgotten what they've been taught. And Satan is just so deeply rooted and deeply infiltrated pop culture and music and TV and, like I said, colleges. Everything in the world has been so taken over by Satan and blinded people, and everyone is just blindly walking into this thing without questioning it, without seeking God about anything. And I feel like he knew that this was the youth generation that he needed, to where and you know, I don't know how long this is going to continue on until the actual tribulation until the actual tribulation period starts, because I thought it was already going to be here at this point. So for all I know, my 14-year-old niece could go on to go to college and have her own family. Not likely by the way things look, but if there's anything that we've learned, we're not to go by how things look. Never go by how things look in the world. We don't know how long the Lord is going to allow this to go on. We don't know how long Satan is trying to push it out and even further desensitize people. But, you know, just say my niece goes on to go to college and have her own family or whatever. Her family is going to be even more, like, knowledgeable about the Bible and the book of Revelation and just the truth of what's going on. And it's really sad. So they're all about, you know, going out into the world and living their dreams and doing what their friends are doing. And, you know, they want to do those things as well, just like their parents did. And most likely they're not going to get to do those things unless they comply to the new system that's not just coming, but already in the processes and baby steps of beginnings. And that's what I was seeing in this dream, was the beginnings of the mark of the beast, the actual real process happening. And it was very scary. So I just wanted to share that. I haven't had any dreams about this kind of stuff since February. So for me to be on, like, this is the second day of my supposed, like, summer vacation, just not working as much as I was, to already start having dreams like this, I'm kind of excited for, you know, more free time to spend with the Lord, to see, because, you know, I want him to show me something encouraging and exciting. I don't particularly care to see that side of things, you know, the darker, sad, depressing side, where I see people in my family walking right into their trap. But at the same time, it's kind of necessary that the Lord shows us those things, because how can you warn people if you don't know what to warn them of? But my cousin that was in this dream, she's just one of those people that's so stubborn, so set in her new age ways, her new age hippie Jesus ways, that you can't say anything to her because she's got it all figured out. And, you know, my hippie Jesus friends are in agreement with me that, you know, we can live however we want, and we can, you know, she's also like super like woman's lib, the type where, you know, I don't need a man and all this kind of stuff, yet at the same time she doesn't work and she relies on her husband to support her and their 2 children. So it's the generation is very confused and very contradictory in their lifestyle. So their whole entire life and their whole entire mindset and their walk in life is nothing but confusion, which is like such fertile grounds for Satan to use them and deceive them and have them walk right into his trap. And I'm seeing my family members do it every day. It's really sad. So I don't like to dream about that stuff because I already know and I can already see them headed that way, and it's very depressing. And so I'm just praying that the next step that the Lord will show me is something, on the flip side of that, that's encouraging and exciting for us. So if I get anything else, I'll share it with you guys. But that's it for now. So I am going to get off here and enjoy the rest of my day off. It's funny because I already have people coming at me, can you do this? I need that, whatever. And normally I would be like, yes, let me help you. Let me be here for you. That's just how I am. I try to be there, be an example of Jesus to people in my life. But I honestly feel like right now the Lord just kind of is having me in this place of, sometimes you just need a break. And I'm just praying that Lord, take that. Like, if they need help, get somebody else to help them, because I can't be that person all the time because it's just sucking too much out of me. But even though yesterday was supposed to be my first day of my summer vacation, no kids, just, me and the Lord and just doing my own thing. First thing, my sister-in-law contacts me because the day prior, she just had her tubes tied and she doesn't have family around her. And her husband, my brother, was at work and she just doesn't have anybody. She was like, I can't lift the baby. Her baby is 1, my niece is 1, and she can't lift anything over 10 pounds. And so she's like, I've had to leave the baby in her playpen all day, and she's, I can't lift her. And of course, she's like, I had to lift her because I can't just leave her in there. And she's like, my incision started bleeding out, and it's just always something. And I felt for her, so I was like, I'll come down, I'll pick up the baby. So I brought her home with me all day till bedtime, gave her a bath and everything. And the baby all day was screaming bloody murder, crying. Nothing was making her happy the whole day. I was so frustrated, like my heart was pounding. And I'm just like, tomorrow I'm not going to do it. I just can't. Sometimes you just can't. I can't be everything for everyone all the time. But the Lord knows my heart, that if I am like mentally and emotionally able and capable to do it, I will do it. But today, So I dropped her off last night. I didn't say anything about keeping her again, which I do not plan to. I'm not going to. But she was like, I can't, I'm not supposed to lift the baby for a whole week, and I don't have anybody here to help me. And I'm just thinking, like, you're going to have to call your parents to come in from out of town because I just can't do it. But already at 8 o'clock this morning, she's getting a hold of me, and I can tell she's wanting me to come down. And she's like, let me know if you can come get the baby. And I just can't seem to escape everything, but I'm just going to have to, like, I'm sure you can even hear the dog squawking in the background. It's like everything is always trying to distract me and overwhelm me and get me away from doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm not going to keep the baby today. So hopefully today is going to be technically day 1 of my day off. So yeah, it's still early in the morning. I'm about to go have my first cup of coffee. I'm just going to do housework and stuff like that. I'm one of those weirdos that enjoys cleaning house. It's very therapeutic to me. I like a clean house. I like my house to be clean. I like to clean it. So I don't have any plans to go out and do anything today. So housework, Bible study, that's about it. Don't really plan to do much other than that, than just enjoy me and my time with the Lord. And I'm just going to have to unplug and just shut everyone off. But I did want to get on here and share that I'm already starting to dream stuff like this after months and months and months of pure chaos and busy. And now that I have this free time, day 1, I'm already having dreams. So I'm just going to ask the Lord to please show me something that can encourage me and you guys, something exciting. And to show me, I'm asking him if he would show me what's coming, like what's really coming, as far as like, because I know we've thought for years and years, every day in my mind, tomorrow is the day we're going home. Tomorrow's got to be the day. And, you know, oh, it looks like on the news that tomorrow's got to be it. We're so close. And yes, we are. But as I mentioned before, like, I thought we were out of here in 2012. I was convinced, I would have bet anything on it at that time, that that's when we were out of here. And that was 9 years ago. So we just don't know. If we're being honest with ourselves, we don't know if we have another year, 2 years, 5 years. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that sounded ridiculous to me 10 years ago. So, you know, as we occupy till he comes, I'm asking him, like, what is really to expect in between now and the actual second that we're out of here? Some people believe that maybe Trump is coming back. Some people believe he's not. I believe that, you know, if he were to, does not mean that everything's going to go back to normal. Because, and even just like when I expressed before, you know, maybe Trump could be coming back. It could happen. I was like viciously attacked by supposed Christians saying that, you know, oh, you're deceived, you're wrong, whatever. He's not coming back, 1000%. I just know it, because nothing can go back to normal, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, really? Like, if Trump were to come back, and he said yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? He's like, he believes that he could be coming back into the presidency by August. He said that himself. If that were to happen, how does that by any means think that everything's going back to normal? Sorry, that's not what's going to happen if he were to come back. I don't believe, anyway. Could be wrong. What I would foresee happening is the left is going to be pissed. Like, all hell would break loose. They would fight it to the death. That could very well be when they take him out. I don't know exactly. Maybe he's not coming back at all. Maybe that's just, you know, maybe people making themselves dream things. Maybe people really are hearing that from the Lord. I do not know. I don't have an opinion either way on that. I just know if Jesus were to come down now and say, hey, guess what? I am bringing Trump back. To me, in my mind, I foresee that being a recipe for disaster, because I know how the left works. They will do anything tooth and nail to get rid of him. I just don't see that being a peaceful, oh, yay, everything's back to normal. Let's just, you know, America's great again. I just don't see them allowing that to happen. They're going to be like, oh, heck no. So I don't know either way. So you can stop attacking me for that, because even though no matter how many times I say I don't have an opinion either way, I'm right in the middle. It could go this way. It could go that way. I could foresee both completely. I could see God doing this. I could see God doing that. I don't really have an opinion either way. No matter how many times I state that, I am always still, I just feel like people are plugging their ears while they watch these messages, and they like, it's just like they want you to say what they want you to say. They only hear what they want to hear you say. So just please know that, just, you know, for the record, if Trump were to come back in some form, I don't see that playing out very peacefully. I mean, hello, have you been watching the news? You know, riots and violence and censoring. And like I said, that could very well be, you know, the dreams that some people have had. I haven't personally either way, but some people have had dreams where they take him out. We know that the Simpsons showed him in a casket. I don't know how it's going to play out. So I say all of that to say that's what I'm seeking the Lord about, to show me what is coming, what he's going to do. And I believe that he will, because the Bible says that God is going to do nothing without showing his people first what's coming. So that's all I have to share for now. If he reveals anything to me, I will definitely share it with you guys. And I'm going to get off here finally, stop, you know, chit-chatting, and get to enjoying my day. So, all right, bye.